Coming up on Access Tech Live.
Apple brings us new iPhones, Apple Watch, and AirPods. What is accessibility like in iOS 18? And we introduce you to the Lotus Ring.
This is Access Tech Live with Stephen Scott and Marc Aflalo. The latest in tech and accessibility every week. Follow us now and get involved at Access Tech Live.
Welcome to another episode of Access Tech Live. I am Stephen Scott, joined by my side this and every week from Montreal. It is Marc Aflalo. How are you, Marc?
Hello. I'm doing good, Stephen. Anything interesting happened this week? I don't really think anything is going on. Pretty quiet, right?
No. I mean, I heard that, there's a couple of cool events coming up and stuff. I think Google have launched some really cool phones. We did talk about that, though. Nothing else, though, right? I mean, apart from that Apple thing the other day. That was quite interesting.
That one.
Yeah,
it was a good time. It was a good time. Lots of cool stuff announced, which obviously we're going to talk about, right?
We're going to get into all of that today. So much to talk about. In fact, I think we should just jump right in because there's lots to talk about, of course, and we'll get to the headlines in just a moment. Just let me tell you, though, who else is joining us this hour to talk about the big announcements from Apple this week. Carrie Morales will be with us a bit later. She is a content creator. She creates her own YouTube channel called Carrie on Accessibility. Brilliant name for a YouTube channel. She is joining us a bit later to talk through the announcements. And also, we're going to talk about the true cost of new devices and the digital divide which comes up as a result of the ever-increasing cost of all of these devices. Chad Lehman is with us from the Neil Squire Society a little bit later. And then later still, we're going to be talking about smart tech from a traditional point of view, using infrared to get the most out of smart tech. So essentially no longer needing a Wi-Fi connection or any kind of internet connection at all. Very interesting product called Lotus Ring. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But first, Marc is here with all the headlines.
Now, Access Tech Live headlines.
Well, in case you missed it, the iPhone 16 is here, and everything that's old is new again on this lineup of phones. Where to begin? Let's start with the entry-level iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, shall we?
iPhone continues to make a profound impact on all of our lives. Its power and capability enable us to get so much done, so quickly and so easily. Like connecting with our family and friends, staying productive on the go. It puts powerful generative models right at the core of your iPhone, making it even more useful and delightful. The next generation of iPhone has been designed for Apple Intelligence from the ground up. It marks the beginning of an exciting new era.
Yes, it does, and that's Apple CEO Tim Cook, if you didn't recognize the voice. So what's new about this phone? Well, it has the same design as last year's iPhone 15, but the camera configuration is different, kind of reminiscent of the iPhone from about 4 years ago. Two new cameras are stacked vertically on top of each other, allowing for spatial photos when you flip it on its side and use it and can watch it on the Apple Vision Pro. The action button from last year's Pro models now come to the entry-level iPhone 16, as does a brand new button called the Camera Control button.
The camera control provides instant, easy access to the camera with just a click. It allows you to adjust various camera features simply by sliding your finger. Its convenient design ensures it's always within reach. And with iPhone 16, the camera becomes even more important, now serving as a powerful tool for intelligence.
Yep, that's pretty cool. And to follow her lead, let's move on to intelligence, shall we? Visual intelligence is also coming to the iPhone, and it helps you get way more information from everything around you. You can see everything you could see with the tap of a button. Here's Craig Federighi.
Visual intelligence is just a click away with iPhone 16's new camera control that Cayenne introduced earlier. Let me show you. Suppose you're out for a stroll and you stumble upon a restaurant you haven't been to before. Just click and hold the camera control and point your iPhone. With just a click, boom! Your iPhone instantly pulls up restaurant hours, ratings, and quick options to check out the menu or make a reservation. And you can learn more with just a tap.
There's a new protective layer on the screen called Ceramic Shield, which is 50% tougher. The battery is larger, but what we don't know right now is what that means for performance. And screen sizes are 6.1 and 6.7 inches. The new phones feature Apple's A18 processor for intelligence and, of course, performance, which means the company has jumped from the A16 to the A18. There are 5 new colors: black, white, pink, teal, and ultramarine. Pre-orders begin tomorrow, Friday, and we'll see the devices in stores next Friday, the 20th of September. Pricing starts at $11.20 Canadian for the 16 and $12.79 for the 16 Plus. The Pro versions of the iPhone 16 have a new camera control button as well, a new A18 Pro chip with some extra power for intelligence, but this one has the same camera design as last year's model with 3 cameras on board. All 3 are upgraded for better performance and autofocus across all of them, and video now lets you shoot 4K in 120 frames per second. There are enhancements to satellite SOS features, bigger and better battery life, and a lot of features like roadside assistance and intelligence are still to come with updates down the road. Pricing for the Pro model started at $14.49 Canadian for the Basic Pro and $17.49 for the Pro Max. Now, this is the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch, and after years of iterative changes, we're seeing another one, but a thinner design, larger screen, but still compatible with all those accessories you've bought over the years. So what's new?
It's the thinnest Apple Watch ever, with our largest and most advanced display in a sleek, lightweight, all-metal case that comes in gorgeous new finishes of aluminum and polished titanium. The design of Series 10 is truly a milestone of watchmaking. It has the powerful S10 SIP and a breakthrough new sleep apnea feature. Series 10 is our fastest charging watch yet, with all-day 18-hour battery life. New depth and water temperature sensors make it great for water activities. It includes the intelligent new features of watchOS 11, and it looks fantastic with this year's watch bands.
Yeah, I must admit it does. The larger screen, of course, has new technology called wide-angled OLED that lets you see it better from different angles. Of course, you mentioned faster charging thanks to a more efficient charging coil, and new titanium design replaces stainless steel as an option. The price, well, it starts at $5.49 Canadian. It's available in stores next Friday, the 20th as well, and you can pre-order it right now on the Apple website. Let's talk about headphones for a second. The entry-level AirPods are changing for the first time in forever. They feature a brand new design after years of experience, better battery life, processing power, and 2 variations.
These new models are the best open-ear AirPods we've ever built, with game-changing audio performance, powered by advanced machine learning that enables personalized spatial audio and active noise cancellation, with voice isolation, Siri interactions, and so much more.
That is Apple's Kate Bergeron, VP of Hardware Engineering. The entry-level versions are priced at $179, but for $249, you'll get a charging case that has built-in speakers, wireless charging capabilities, and the earbuds will come with active noise cancellation for that premium. The AirPods Max now come with USB-C, but everything else on board is exactly the same as when they launched them, with a couple new colors across the board. Now, let's talk about the AirPods Pro, because the bigger news here on the headphone side is that the existing AirPods Pro, the ones you can get in store now, are about to be certified as over-the-counter hearing aids.
75% of people diagnosed with hearing loss haven't received the assistive support they need. So we are really excited to announce that this fall, AirPods Pro will have a clinical-grade over-the-counter hearing aid feature. We're adding this groundbreaking capability to help more than 1 billion people living with mild to moderate hearing loss. After you take a hearing test, your AirPods Pro are transformed into a personalized hearing aid, boosting the specific sounds you need in real time, like parts of speech or elements within your environment. This will allow you to hear your surroundings better, to help keep you safe and connect you with people nearby. So it's even easier to hear and engage in conversations.
Apple announced new hearing aid capabilities for users with mild to moderate hearing loss. It'll help you conduct an on-device hearing test and then use that resulting profile across listening in the real world and to things like music, movies, and even gaming. It's a pretty big piece of the puzzle in the accessibility of hearing aid health solutions that may indicate a pretty seismic shift in the landscape of hearing aids in general. More news coming up, and of course discussion about everything that Apple announced. In the meantime, one other story that came to our attention this week is Google, as you know, introduced a new AI-powered feature in its TalkBack screen reader that uses Gemini to describe images for blind users. However, this feature will not be available on Samsung Galaxy devices. Michelle Rahman is a freelance contributor from Android Authority and explains why.
Samsung devices actually have their own TalkBack service that's developed by Samsung. Their version of TalkBack is not one-to-one with Google's version. So anytime Google pushes an update to their version of TalkBack that adds a new feature, such as this new AI image descriptor feature that Google is rolling out, that feature will not be immediately available on Samsung version of TalkBack. Google actually allows Android device makers like Samsung to create their own versions of TalkBack, of all these other accessibility services, so long as they have certain features. We don't know when or if it will ever be available on Samsung's version of TalkBack, because Samsung controls the updates, not Google.
No, they don't. So that's all the headlines in tech and accessibility this week so far, Stephen. Obviously, we're going to dive into our opinions and thoughts about everything that Apple announced this week and over the coming weeks, because I make no promises as to when we're going to get our hands-on stuff. We'll be going hands-on with, of course, all these new devices to see what's new and really put them to the test. And if anybody's watching at home that wants to talk about something specific about these devices, they can let us know what we want to dive into, and we'll definitely do that. I can breathe now, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we should just wrap up, to be honest. I think we're done. Really, that covers it as far as
Great
I'm
show.
concerned.
Thanks for coming.
Everything's in there. Well done, Mark. No, seriously, loads of news to get into. We're going to, of course, be talking to Carrie Morales soon about all of this. But before that, let's dive into our weekly question. What have you been asking our audience this week?
Well, it's interesting because we got an email from Darren Ross that wrote us this, and it kind of led us into the question. He goes, "This drives me nuts." He goes, "I know this is an old and much aired grievance, but the total unfair pricing of stuff like this drives me to distraction. The new iPhone 16 basic model will cost our American cousins $7.99, whilst in the UK we'll have to pay $7.99. British pounds, even euros at that point. A quick currency conversion tells me that that's an equivalent of $1,045. $7.99 should be approximately $6.10, but oh no, that's not seen as fair. Charging us an extra $2.45, though, is absolutely fine." I know, that's just the way it is, but boy, oh boy, does it pickle my onions. $10.45 for an $800 phone. Sheesh. Stephen, we speak to a lot of people that are, hesitant on upgrading, and the price tag is just getting really, really insane. It's the same thing here. Like, you do the currency conversion, obviously it changes on a daily basis, but the prices don't seem to reflect that. So the question we threw out on social media at Access Tech Live is the pricing of mainstream tech becoming too inaccessible for you? Not accessibility like for people with disabilities. We're talking about, is it just too expensive to go out and buy? And a lot of people started, I throw out certain questions, Stephen. I don't expect a lot of people to react. This one went a little bit crazy. So if you've got an opinion, we're definitely going to get to it throughout the show. Connect with us on all our social media platforms. It's at Access Tech Live, of course, on social. If you want to email us, it's feedback@accesstechlive.com, and we will get that as well. Coming up here on Access Tech Live, we broke down the headlines, but it's time to dive into the details. When we return, everything we think you need to know about Apple's iPhone 16 event with special guest Carrie Morales, otherwise known as Carrie on Accessibility. And she brings her love of technology and passion for accessibility to YouTube every week, and she's with us next after a quick break here on Access Tech Live.
There's more Access Tech Live to come. Get involved and have your say at Access Tech Live on social media. We'll be right back.